What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk and Xbox Podcast, episode number 101, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, aka The Muffin Mon, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Physical Copy himself, Ethan. How you doing, buddy?
Kevin, we woke up very early this morning to do Tokyo Game Show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to bed right after that, and I went from not getting enough sleep to oversleeping. I slept
Oh,
for another 5 hours, and I
ooh.
woke up like in the afternoon, miserable. I was like, I overslept. I feel like garbage. And I slept with 4 cups of coffee in my system, which I don't know. You're not very much of a caffeine consumer,
No.
but if you go to sleep with a lot of caffeine in your system, you get some really weird, vivid dreams. So I was waking up consistently throughout those 5 hours in the groggiest state possible. So I feel like garbage. Then I had to go grocery shopping, Kevin. I had to go drive to the grocery store and go grocery shopping. It was miserable, but I'm back. I'm happy to actually be able to sit down and relax and do a podcast. And after this, I'm going to have a couple of cold adult beverages and play some video
Mm.
games. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Nice. Yes, I am exhausted. I was telling you before I popped out of work a little early, came home, took a little power nap,
Yeah.
30 minutes. I was literally just standing in my office like I can't be here anymore. I can't
I can't do
function.
the power naps. If I take a
No.
nap during the day, even if it's 10 minutes, it's over. The rest of
You,
the day's ruined. I feel like death. It's done for.
well, you want to know what really I was gonna take a longer nap, but someone was
Yeah.
like, it would be a great time to mow the lawn.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But this show is about Xbox. And
Yep.
if you like that, remember we are live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time right here on YouTube. If you can't catch us live, we post every Friday morning on your favorite podcast service of choice. While you're over there, please leave us a rating on Apple, Spotify, whichever podcast service you prefer. It all helps us grow. And if you leave us a 5-star review on Apple, we will read it live on the show. If you want to interact with us more, please come join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. Lots of new faces in there every other day. It
Oh, yeah,
seems
we're
like we're
popping
getting
off
new
in the
people.
Discord. It's a good time.
Loving it, loving it. And if you want to support us further and get early access to all of Save the Game Media's content, like No Limits, Frame by Frame, or I Hate My Friends, plus Patreon exclusive podcasts like the I Hate My Friends Patreon post show 4 times a month, Save the Game Boy, our new Nintendo monthly
Oh yeah.
podcast. Leftovers is starting next week, and then you get a Mon's comic book quarter also starting the week after that. So that's like 7 pieces of exclusive content for $1 a month. Just saying, sounds like a good
Hmm.
deal. So why don't you head on over to patreon.com/save the game media. Choose a tier that's right for you, just like our current Patreon supporters have done. Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Amon, SAZ, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, and Brianna's wife. Thank you all for your support.
And
We
another entry
appreciate
into the
you.
God of War Ragnarok giveaway, Kevin.
That's right. If
Yeah.
you become a patron, you get 2 times the chance to win.
You want that game, folks.
That's right. If you listen, if you want to win God of War, I know we're an Xbox, but like if you saw the God of War trailer this week, you know God of War is
Yeah.
looking pretty
We
tasty.
love Xbox the most, but we're gamers at heart. We love all video
Come
games.
November 9th, on my PS5's on. All right.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
it's on.
So if you wanna win that, just go over to our Twitter. Entry details are over there. But now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, Ethan, I want to go around the room and ask one simple question like we do every week. And that question is, what have you been playing?
Oh man. So my in-laws, right? They're in their 50s. My father-in-law particularly enjoys video games, but he mostly plays on PC. He plays a lot of Minecraft. He enjoys playing with his kids, my sisters and brothers-in-law. But recently he picked up an Xbox Series S. I helped him set it up, and they got a wheel and pedal system, and I got them to download Forza Horizon 5 off of Game Pass, and they've been going crazy. They've been having an absolute blast. My mother-in-law, who is not a gamer whatsoever. My wife tells me that they grew up like without internet, without TV, like very not a lot of technology. She's been playing this nonstop. I was on at like midnight last night playing video games because I made bad decisions before that showcase. And she was online playing Forza Horizon. I'm like, damn, they're gamers now, right? And so my wife re-downloaded the game to play with them a little bit, and so I jumped back into it. I've been playing the hell out of it the last couple days. It's been nice jumping back into Forza Horizon 5. That excitement is still there. I definitely overdid it when it first came out. I think I sunk like 45 hours into it the first week or so, and it kind of burned me out. But getting back into some of these races and seeing all my car collections again has been a blast. I think it's funny too. Every time I discover something or hit billboards or do any of the events and I see my numbers, I'm like, damn, I really got a lot done in this game when it came out. And then it just tells me, oh, by the way, Hopple has more stuff than you.
Yo, Hopple is committed to
Hopple
that
went
game.
crazy with that game, and I absolutely love it. So now I'm kind of trying to catch back up to Hopple a little bit. I don't know if I'm ever going to meet that standard, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm really thinking about getting the Hot Wheels expansion
You should. It's
because
really good.
it looks really good. So we'll have to see how I want to allocate my time with all the different games coming to Game Pass recently. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, and as far as I can think of, more God of War. I talked plenty about that last week. If you want my thoughts on it, go back there.
I want your
Um,
thoughts on one game. I saw you playing earlier. At least I hope it was you and not your
mm.
wife. Metal Hellsinger?
Oh, I haven't played it yet. I downloaded it, and
Oh.
that's because right after we did the React, I sat on my couch. And remember, I even jokingly said, I bet you I'm going to fall asleep while it's
Mm-hmm.
downloading. In the middle of the download, I couldn't handle it anymore. I went to bed. So
Oh.
that's exactly what happened. So I haven't
Oh.
picked that up yet. That's probably going to happen right after this show. I'm going to jump in and see how that's going. Oh, yeah. The other game from Game Pass that I played, You Suck at Parking. It's really fun. It's a really goofy little game. It's basically right triggers to accelerate, left triggers to brake. There's no reverse, and your left stick is to steer. That's all there is to the game. And you have kind of like an eagle eye view of your car, and you can go online and you got to go to all the different parking spaces and stop within that parking space. It's very chaotic. It's very fun. It's cute. I think it's a really fun game. It has a single player component. It's not as fun as the online though. It's very just simple. Go to different maps, try and
Mm-hmm.
100% them, try and perfect them. I played it for probably an hour. Really enjoyed it. It's not going to be one of those games that I'm going to keep on my hard drive and play all the time online. But I think there is a market out there for this game. And I think if people try it out, there's a lot of people that could get hooked by it. So definitely give that a shot on Game Pass, folks.
Very cool. Been hearing some good things about that.
Yeah.
Probably not a game I'm eagerly
Yeah.
anticipating playing, but I have played 3 games, 2 of which I can talk about.
Yep.
One of them, well, I can't say anything, but I will say just keep your eyes tuned to the channel
Mm-hmm.
next early next week, and you'll know what I've been playing. But I finished that, and then I picked up Race with Ryan, which is a
Yep.
Game Pass game. And it's not a game I was like, oh my God, this looks so good. I got to play some Race with Ryan.
Yeah.
This was decided by our Patreon
Another Patreon
supporters.
perk.
Yes, you get to decide every 2 months for a game for me to play, and then I have to make a little video on it at the Make Me Suffer tier. And this month, you guys chose Race with Ryan, which is a kid kart racer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna give my thoughts or too much. I did 100% it. That is what I will say.
Nice.
I got
Solid.
all the achievements. It's a very easy achievement list. It took me 3 hours, I think, to get all of them. And
Don't sell yourself short. You're a gamer, Kevin.
I will hold on. You might be giving me too much credit because one of the functions in this game, if you press start, there is a auto drive feature.
What? Like it just does it for you?
It just drives for you. So some of the achievements were beat the cups on easy. You can put those two, like the auto drive thing,
Yeah.
auto steer on, and it will win every race on easy for you. So I literally just did that and played something else while I was getting those achievements, and then I
That's
came back because you have
hilarious.
to play the other ones. The AI gets better for
Yeah.
those ones, but that also just pads your playtime. But yeah, really ridiculous when I saw that. I was like, oh, well, I'm not playing this.
Cool.
Like, and then I have started playing Tome, which
Okay.
is a PS Plus game, and it's a picture game. It's kind of like paparazzi, if I'm being honest, Ethan.
Yeah, throwback. One of the
It's a
best games of 2022, folks.
little more stylish than paparazzi, I think.
Yep.
You play as this little character who sets out to explore the world, and along the way, people just add. It's literally just you talk to someone, they give you a quest. They're like, "Oh, can you take a picture of these three things?" And then you walk
Mhm.
around like a little confined area. It's an isometric view, and then you have to find the things, take pictures of, go report back to them, get stamps. It's
Okay.
very simple. It's relaxing, charming. I
Good
don't really.
podcast game.
Yeah, definitely a good podcast game because you don't need
Yeah.
the sound on. Although the music is very calming, but like you can
Mm.
just put a podcast on. So working my way through that, easy platinum according to Sam, and from what I've seen,
Ooh,
it is an easy platinum. So I think I'm going to grab that. Very short too. I think it's only like a 3 hour platinum. So might
mhm.
wrap that up tonight, depending on what else I got going on. But there's a whole bunch of games on my backlog list now.
Yeah.
All right, so many especially
Especially
on
after that
Xbox.
showcase.
I literally just clicked pre-install on Deathloop and Persona 5 Royal.
Wait, you can
No,
pre-install Persona 5 already?
I don't. It might be the little thing to just tell like, hey, when this becomes available, automatically download it. I
Yeah,
do that
yeah.
for a lot of games, like a Plague Tale Requiem. I have that,
Yep.
even though the game isn't able to
Set it up.
download yet. Yeah, for sure. So like when I go into my games and app, most of them are just like coming soon, and I'm like, oh, I gotta knock some of these smaller games out. But
Yeah.
that's all I've been playing this week. Let's see what the chat's been playing. We got SAZ with Final Fantasy 7 Intergrade and Splatoon.
Nice.
Great choices, SAZ. Final Fantasy 7 is amazing. Ethan, you gotta get to that one.
I know.
And then Splatoon, hearing nothing but good things.
Mhm.
Arkwing also playing Splatoon 3. So many people are loving Splatoon 3.
Really good reviews
I don't know
for
why
it.
Taylor still got it sealed up. Maybe he should bust
That's
it out and
crazy.
play. So we'll see if he's
Come on,
returned
Taylor.
it. He might have returned it already. He was going to. We can transition into the news though
Mm.
after our short play segment there. So have a seat while I grab some books from the library and tell you this week's stories. Story number 1. Bonnie Ross has left 343. This comes from Windows Central, who says Bonnie Ross has announced her retirement today with an intent to focus on family as 343 moves to restructure its leadership roles. Bonnie Ross founded 343 Industries 15 years ago, with the team having taken the reins of the Halo franchise after Bungie's departure. In a statement from Bonnie, she states, quote, "Well, I'd hoped to stay until with Halo until we finished the winter update. I am letting you know I will be leaving 343 and attending to a family medical issue. I'm incredibly proud of the work everyone at 343 Industries has done with Halo Infinite, the Master Chief Collection, the Halo television series, and so much more. It has been an honor to serve alongside the team for the last 15 years and to be part of a universe that I love. Thank you to everyone in the Halo community for your support. Halo's future is bright. I cannot wait for all of you to experience what we have in store and to cheer alongside you as a fan at the World Championship in October." Following this, Microsoft has confirmed that head of production Pierre Hintz will become studio head effective immediately. Brian Koski will become the GM of franchise, and Elizabeth Van Wyck will oversee business and operations, amongst a bunch of other restructuring that 343 has done. So,
Mhm.
Ethan, Bonnie Ross leaving the studio she helped found for the Halo franchise.
Yep.
What are your initial thoughts?
Um, I I don't really know if there's much to say about this retirement, and I've seen the Twitterverse just get toxic about this, saying that she's just running away from it because she failed as a leader, blah blah blah. Look, I don't think she's the type of person that's going to lie about saying there's a family medical issue. I've looked up her history. She's in her mid 50s. She's worked on some really incredible franchises like Gears of War and Alan Wake. Obviously, like you said, she's been at 343 the last 15 years of her career. I think she's fairly well off. I think we can safely assume that she has enough to retire at this point and live the rest of her life comfortably. And so I see this as a regular retirement. I think, and like she said, she was probably going to retire soon, anyways. So good for her. Hopefully, she can attend to those family issues. Hopefully, everyone's okay,
Mhm.
and she can just live the rest of her life in peace. Drinking pina coladas next to her pool. Watching Halo unfold as a fan, like she said. So I don't think there's anything really big out of this. What I think the main question here is, how is this restructuring sort of going to change the direction of Halo? I think that's what we really need to look at. Obviously, we've been talking at length for years now about how 343 Industries has handled the Halo franchise. Lots of disappointment, lots of things. There's been some good, there's been a lot of bad though. And obviously with a fresh new leadership team, I think, we could see this change. It's yet to be seen. I'm not familiar with any of these new names. I think we'll probably get more familiar with them as time moves forward. But I'm hoping that maybe we can right this ship a little bit, and maybe they can make some different decisions that Halo fans will be happy about. But in terms of Bonnie Ross, I regular retirement. Just she's older. She has some money. She has family issues. It's time to hang up the coat and enjoy the rest of her life. So congrats to her.
For sure. I think we need to take her statement at face value and just believe that that is
Hmm.
why she's actually leaving. I know some people will probably be like, "Oh, well, it's just passing it off so she can get out with like a nice public image intact, right? Like it wasn't
Right.
like her getting fired," which I that's a lot of speculation. I'm
If
just
they were
gonna
gonna fire Bonnie Ross, I feel like it would have came earlier. It's
would have
been
came.
15
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. 100%. I will say that anyone that tries to discredit Bonnie Ross doesn't really understand her impact on the games industry. Go to her Moby Games list, and you will see the
Wow.
franchises that she has worked on.
Lot more than Halo, folks.
Yes, Jade Empire, Psychonauts, Gears of War, Viva Pinata, Lost Odyssey.
As a
Um,
producer, a director, she's been
there's
integral in
so
a lot of these franchises.
like a lot of it is Halo, yes, especially in the last, but like she has a lot of credits in a lot of games. So she has been integral to not only Microsoft but the gaming industry as a whole. So I hope she can go off and live a good life in retirement. But as you're saying, the main story here is the restructuring around 343. And that is really what we were calling for a few weeks ago
Yeah.
when we were talking about the state of Halo Infinite, especially when they released their new roadmap, which we weren't
Mhm.
particularly happy with because
We got
a lot of
upset.
yes. So Pierre Hintz, who he's now the head of the studio,
Mhm.
but he has worked on Halo. He worked on Halo Infinite. He worked on the Master Chief Collection. He's worked on other games, none really of super high quality. He worked on a lot of FIFA games. He has some Disney games in there, but nothing really standing out to me. Halo is really like the biggest franchise he's ever
Yeah.
worked on. That doesn't mean I don't we will have to see what his reign holds, to be honest,
Yeah,
like
because essentially this position is a position of leadership, right? It's not
leadership.
necessarily making the decisions on how a game is going to. Obviously, you're involved in it, and you can make decisions and stuff like that. But for him, it's mostly going to be a management position where he's dealing with personnel
W-
and timelines and stuff like that.
One name I think is surprisingly absent from these announcements is Joe Staten. I would have expected him
Yeah.
to get some sort of promotion, job
Hmm.
change. Maybe he doesn't need one because he kind of is righting the wrongs in the studio already. If he could do that from his current role and doesn't need to go higher up the food chain, that's completely fine. But
That's what I was gonna say, is maybe it's just the fact that he's in a crazy position right now and he has so many responsibilities, and he's like, I can't just pass this off to somebody right now. I haven't had time to train a relief. I haven't had time to, integrate somebody into my position at this company. I got too much to work to do to just take a random promotion. And that's a pretty admirable thing if that's the case. But
mhm.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, what is his current? He's head of creative. So he is a writer at his core. So it makes sense actually makes
Yeah,
sense for him to stay head of creative because you want him involved in the decisions behind the storyline
exactly
going
right.
forward. What makes Halo Halo and not the silly stuff that the narrative that we've seen
Yeah.
in other Halo games. So actually where he is probably fine. Ghostly March says the damage is already done. Overall, she failed in the role. Wish her the best, but the change was needed anyways. And I
Yeah.
think that is a lot of people's overall sentiment was uh, this wasn't the way we expected it, but it might be for the best.
Yeah, it definitely, her tenure at 343, I don't think was necessarily like a crash and burn immediately. It was a very slow burn over time where it was like, okay, this is just not working out. This is the third game. Obviously we need different leadership here. So it's good that she's leaving, and it's good for the company, good for the gamers, and I think it's good for her life too. So, just positive things all around. Hopefully Halo can right the ship here.
Yeah, and this isn't gonna fix everything overnight. Anyone that's thinking Bonnie Ross was 100% responsible for Halo's
Exactly.
downfall,
It's
it's
a
not.
whole company.
That's not how it works. There has to be some major fixes throughout the entire company
And even if you
because,
put in all the right people, it's still going to take time,
oh yeah,
because
for
they
sure.
can't just make a drastic shift right away. They got to slowly integrate new changes.
There's something wrong within the way that like they make the game there because Halo was delayed a year and still launched half baked. Like there,
Right.
the actual gameplay, like we said a million times, fantastic. There's just no content, so it's like
Mhm.
they've had what 6 years, 7 years now of
Yeah.
making this game, and we're still at a point where we're still waiting for it to be completed.
Mhm.
There's clearly production issues, like the pipeline flow doesn't work. We're got to look at those kind of issues going on.
Exactly, yeah.
It wasn't all, oh, once Bonnie Ross is gone, everything's rainbows and like
Yeah.
Halo Infinite's good.
Yep.
It's which I maintain the campaign is still good, but
Yeah.
we have a long way to go
Just doesn't
before
have
Halo is
co-op or replayability or
yeah,
split screen or
yeah. Story wise though, it's good.
Yeah.
Uh, anything else to say on that? We can move on.
I think we can move on, Kevin.
Great, because story number 2 is actually a little rumor. Is Asobo making an Xbox racing game? This was stated apparently on the Xbox Era podcast by Nick, special Nick Baker, whatever you want to call him. His sources apparently tell him that Asobo is prototyping a new racing game for Xbox, stressing that it's only a prototype at the moment. If you're not familiar with Asobo, they are the team behind Microsoft Flight Simulator and A Plague Tale. What are you thinking, Ethan?
Asobo is such a crazy company with how different of the types of games they work on. But I did some research, and Asobo does have history with making racing games. They had Fuel back in 2009, and then they made the Crew series, the Crew 1 and 2. And so they definitely have some knowledge within the company on how to make a racing game. And I looked at all three of them. All three of them are open world racing games. The Crew specifically is online only racing game, much like Forza Horizon 5, kind of in that same light. So it'll be interesting to see how Xbox wants to handle a release of a racing game made by Asobo, if they're going to continue with that trend of doing an open world and compete maybe with Forza Horizon 5, or if they're going to go to a route where they're just making an immersive sim, which again, they have a lot of experience with that, with people working on Microsoft Flight Simulator, one of the greatest simulators ever made. So they have a lot of talent to draw from for a racing game. It'll be interesting to see the direction specifically that they take it, because, with Xbox, you think of Forza Motorsports and Horizon 5. So to see that they're going to work with Xbox on a racing game, and I'm assuming it's going to be published by Xbox Game Studios, it'll be interesting to see how the timeline matches up. Are they going to wait a really long time until, maybe Forza Horizon 5 has already gone through its life cycle, and then they release this while people wait for Forza Motorsports 11 and Horizon 6? So that'll be cool. I don't think it's going to be the Crew 3. I think I saw a couple of things on Twitter saying that would be cool, because I think Ubisoft owns the publishing rights still for the Crew.
I was gonna say I thought that was a Ubisoft game.
It was published by Ubisoft, but it was made by Asobo. So I don't think we're going to see a third installment on that. It was funny. I didn't know the Crew 2 came out in 2018. I didn't know it was that recent. That was the game they made right before Plague Tale Innocence. So that's pretty
Wow.
crazy. Yeah. But lots of questions to be answered. Obviously, them saying it's in the prototype stage, I don't think they have like any working engine
No.
or working game. I think it's probably in conversations. It's probably in the basic stages of writing. Maybe they're doing concept art just to see if they want to go with that project. So this could easily fizzle out, and we could never talk about it again. But I would be interested to see any more information out of Asobo on this, but I don't think we're going to get anything for a while.
No, so I just Googled how big Asobo is because the fact that they put out Microsoft Flight Simulator, and now the turnaround time on A Plague Tale Requiem from Innocence
Yeah.
was 3 years, I believe, 3 or 4 years. It was a very quick turnaround, especially for a game of that size, of that caliber.
Yeah.
I know they're a double A team, but their work ethic, like they have to have multiple teams. So they're 220
They have
people.
to.
They're
Yeah.
220 people. They definitely have multiple teams doing this. So if this is the direction that they want to go, the other team, maybe I assume this is the team that probably made Microsoft Flight Simulator, their next
Could be.
project.
Yeah.
That's great. I don't know if we need another Forza type game. What I
Right.
would love this to be is more of an arcadey racer, a kart
Mm.
racer, perhaps something more lighthearted, something fun for the Xbox community because they've been looking. There's something like Mario Kart esque, not Mario
Yeah.
Kart, but in that vein is what really I would like to see them do. I didn't even know that they made the crew. Like I completely slipped my mind. I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah. But Asobo, I've said for a while now, is my number one pick for after this Activision deal close. Like, if you're going to pick up another studio, it has to be Asobo in my
Yeah.
eyes because they make Flight Simulator. You're one
Hmm.
of your highest critically acclaimed games. You probably want that in house so you can have that team. But then they also fill that gap that Xbox sorely needs in the third person over the shoulder
Hmm.
narrative style game, which when we were doing our review of The Last of Us, I specifically was saying how the inspiration that A Plague Tale took from The Last of Us is
Yeah.
so obvious to me after playing The Last of Us now. And I love A Plague Tale, number one fanboy on the internet. Don't at me. It's so obvious. So like bring them in, give them a bunch of money, get a like if they're going to continue with a Plague Tale, if they're going to go with a new franchise. I don't know how Requiem's going to end. Like, is there going to be a trilogy? Can they just do a different third person narrative story game? Whatever you want. The team is clearly talented in multiple genres.
Yeah, like you were saying, how the team's talented in multiple genres. I mean, just the sheer diversity of the games they've made over their history. I think having them in house with Xbox Game Studios, you could hand them so many different projects. You could give them a 3D platformer to work on. You could make them help out with a COD game or something like that. There's so many different things that these guys can do. And also, I was looking at the game list. They made a little game called Toy Story 3, Kevin. I think you know
No,
something about that.
no, did they
Yep,
really?
it was developed by Asobo and published by Disney Interactive Studios. Well, the developers were Avalanche, Asobo, and Endspace for the DS. Okay, so Asobo worked on the PS2 and the PSP version of Toy
Okay.
Story 3.
Okay, because I played the Xbox 360 version and they weren't on the splash screen.
Oh no, that's
I would have,
Avalanche that did
yeah,
360.
I would have freaked out about that. Okay, that's
That's
cool.
still cool though. Apparently, they did a lot of Disney games back in the day. Up, they did the game adaptation of that. Wally, Ratatouille, a bunch of that stuff. The Mummy, the animated series. Very strange. All right,
Shout out to
cool.
Sobo, killing
Yeah,
it.
shout out.
Can't wait for a Plague Tale.
Oh, it's coming, Kevin. It's almost here.
Sit down, God of War. I got my game of year already. 2023 sounds fine for
Elden
you.
Ring,
Okay?
right, Kevin? Game of the year.
Out of here. I'm not playing that. Oh my lord. Well, that was just a quick rumor. We will wait to see what happens.
Mhm.
I'm excited for the future of that studio. They continue to just climb and climb in my list of game studios. But speaking of game studios, story number 3 is a showcase roundup, folks.
There's a lot of them.
Because let me tell you, we had a mini E3 in September right here.
Yeah.
On Friday, and I got the light blasting me in the eye now. Okay, I can't
Classic.
wait. I can't wait for winter when it's just dark at this time, and I don't have to
I
deal
love
with
that.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, no sunlight here. But Friday we had the D23 Expo, the Marvel Disney Game Showcase.
Hmm.
We're going to touch on this very briefly. I literally wrote highlights question mark because let me tell you, we were going to live react to this. Thank God we didn't.
Yeah, there was
Because
some scheduling conflicts, and we at the end we were like, all right.
I literally said, I was like, I'm so glad I stayed at work because this was a terrible, terrible showcase.
Yeah, there was pretty much nothing here for me. The only thing that got me sort of excited was obviously the reveal of the Captain America Black Panther game, but even that was like 5-second cinematic where it wasn't
Mhm.
even a cinematic. It was kind of like just showing off the silhouettes of Black Panther and Captain America. Like there was almost nothing to dissect there.
I
So you
think,
still don't know anything about it. So
yeah, I think that is the big takeaway from the showcase was Amy Hennig's game. Obviously, the Skydance rumored project. It was leaked literally the day before, the night before, what it was going to be, a Captain America Black Panther game set in World War II. You also have two other characters who I can't remember the names of. They're not. It's not Bucky. It looks like it's one of the Black Panther guards, one of those like old characters,
Yeah.
but it's not even. It's not T'Challa. Obviously, I think it's his
Yeah.
grandfather. So for me, I'm excited to see more. I hope. Ghostly Bart says those should be two different games.
I would love a standalone Captain America or Black Panther game. That'd be great. But you know what? I'll take a combo.
Well, I
That's
remember
okay.
we read that rumor that Black Panther was going to get an
We
EA
did.
game, and now I'm
Yeah.
like, I think maybe some wires got crossed. Like, I doubt
Yeah.
there's a solo Black Panther game in
I doubt
production.
Marvel would do that and give the rights to Black Panther and be like, come out with two Black Panther games
Yeah,
around the
same time, same time. Yeah, literally nothing here. Cinematic trailer. We'll have to wait and see more.
You
She
saw
did
more
talk.
Midnight Suns. I know you're excited about that.
Yes, and I still think it looks great. The best part was at the end when they were like, "Hey, we know we delayed the game, and you all thought it was 2023, December 2nd, 2022. Let's go!"
Yeah.
Pumped, can't wait, super excited for it.
Turn based, I'm out.
Yeah, cards, you're out.
Cards. Yeah, I play
Uh,
Gwent. I play a mean game of Gwent. I can do cards.
I will say there was one announcement that I also thought looked good. It's not coming to Xbox though. It's that Switch exclusive Illusion Island, the Mickey Mouse platformer game.
Oh yeah, that looked interesting.
That looks pretty good. It looked Rayman Legends like, but
yeah,
it has nothing to do with Xbox. So I wish it did. Saturday we had the Ubisoft Forward.
Oh yeah,
which I did not watch, and I heard it was terrible.
Stop it, Kevin. It was great. Okay. Assassin's Creed. It was all about Assassin's Creed. Everything was great. They talked about Infinity, how that's going to be a launching platform for all their different projects that they're working on. They showed off Mirage again, which I'm really, really excited for. We got announcements for, I think it's Assassin's Creed Jade, which is in ancient China. You have Assassin's Creed Red, which is in Japan, feudal Japan. You have Assassin's Creed Hex, which takes place in the late 18th century in the Holy Roman Empire with the witch trials that happened back in the day in Europe. And then they talked about, oh, am I forgetting something? No, I think those are the four that they showed off there. And then they talked, of course, about Infinity. But with Mirage, that's the one I'm really looking forward to the most. I don't know enough about the other three projects yet. Obviously, their settings are really cool and interesting to me. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with those different worlds. But for Mirage, the fact that it's going to be kind of a return to form of the old way of doing Assassin's Creed, that really, really excites me. And then also, you know, we got that announcement. I think it was before the showcase. I forget if it was part of the showcase or before that they're remastering Assassin's Creed 1. A lot of great news coming out of the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Did they officially announce that?
Was it never officially announced?
No, it was it was part of our rumor mill that we did before the showcase.
There's
So
too much rumors going around. I can't differentiate fact from rumor anymore. But overall, really excited for what the future holds for Assassin's Creed. I'm hoping this Infinite platform kind of tampers down their sort of trend of doing these 150 plus hour massive RPGs, which, to be fair, I've enjoyed over the years, but I understand it's driving a ton of people away. And I do still like the original Assassin's Creed formula of a smaller experience better than the big RPGs. I loved Odyssey. I loved Origins. I liked Valhalla. It was okay. But I would really, really prefer them to move away from that and do these more bite-sized experiences. And if they can use Infinite or Infinity as a platform to launch a ton of smaller experiences and give you kind of a central hub where, you know, they can still do their normal things that they would do with these big RPGs in terms of monetization, but they can just give us these bite-sized experiences. That's what really gets me fired up. So I'm really interested to see what that's going to be going forward.
listen, the only thing I heard about this was that they showed basically nothing. Basically, it just talked to you the whole time. No gameplay trailers, barely any CGI. Like for the Assassin's Creed Red, they just showed an assassin on top with the rising sun behind him, and that was it.
There's
Like
a lot of talking.
what was the point? Like this could have been an email. That's the showcase.
Yeah, I wish they went more hard into like showing what maybe the storylines are going to be, how it might connect to other Assassin's Creed games. I wish they kind of did all that. Then again, I didn't watch the entire showcase. Like you said, there was a lot of talking. I really just wanted to see the announcements and see what's going on. Maybe I should go back and see if they talked about story elements at all or how the games are. I do remember at one point they said that we're not necessarily doing away with big RPG experiences, but we're definitely going to make it more varied. And also something that was cool that they talked about is how they're going to price these games fairly and accordingly. So they're not going to charge us $70 for a smaller experience per se if they're going to do that. If they're going to make a 20-hour traditional game, they're not going to charge us $70. But if they're going to make a 150-hour RPG, okay, that's a $70 game. So I really do appreciate them coming out and saying that, because I'm tired of paying $70 for games, Kevin. I really don't want to do it anymore. I like $50 games. That's really fun.
They did, yeah, they did state for their big AAA games that it's going to be $70, starting with Skull and Bones, folks.
If I wasn't going to buy it before.
Oh man, yeah. I have nothing to say on that showcase. I'm glad that they're kind of splitting the Assassin's Creed series for like the two fan bases that want different things. There'll be people that dip into both, like you and probably my brother. But there are fans that want the more traditional experience, and then there are fans that want the 100-hour RPG experience. So you're going to have those two differentiating paths now. They also showed Division Heartland. It's a mobile game. Who cares? But this week, when I couldn't live react because I was at a conference, and you guys did a great job. Went back, watched the live reacts. You guys killed it on both the Nintendo Direct and the State of Play. We had some good announcements coming out of there, and the Rio I can never say the studio right, the Rio Go Gatuku, the Yakuza devs. All right,
devs,
thank you. I'm always trying to they also had a little showcase after the fact. So we're just going to cover the games that are coming to Xbox in this, except for the first one. I want to point this out because Octopath Traveler 2 was announced, and it's skipping Xbox, and this really
strange.
This grinds my gears because the Octopath 1 is on PC, Switch, and Xbox. I think it's either in Game Pass or recently left Game Pass. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's not on PlayStation. So what do they do? What does Square Enix do? What if we put Octopath Traveler 2 on Switch, PC, and PlayStation? What? They don't even have the first one.
I'm wondering if they're not connected in any way.
They're not connected, but like it's still weird. It's still
still weird. Yeah. Square Enix, stop being weird. They shop around a lot. Who knows what the hell they're doing?
Yeah. That's just a little annoyance I have. We got a release date for Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. It's coming out December 13th. December is getting tasty, Ethan. All right.
The last 3 months of this year is getting a little ridiculous.
Oh, not even. Listen, I have set reminders in my phone for game releases, so I know when to buy like what game. January is already having conflicts because I got One Piece, and then a week later Fire Emblem, and I was like, I can't get through One Piece in a week. We also got Tales of Symphonia Remastered coming to Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Now, here's what I'm going to say, Ethan.
Yeah.
You know this is my favorite game of all time.
Of course. Right.
This remaster, quote, remaster, is already on PC.
Okay.
I own it on PC. Is that going to stop me from buying the $50 chosen physical edition for Switch? No, because I already pre-ordered it.
Yes.
Is it going to stop me again from buying it digitally on Xbox? No, it isn't. That's right. I'm dropping $100-something just to have this game across the systems. I don't need it on PlayStation. All right.
Yeah.
Xbox, I'm fairly certain that my digital games will remain playable. PlayStation, you got to prove it to me. Like we had a PS3 situation. All right. So I don't need it on PlayStation. I'm good with Xbox. I get my achievements there. But I did order the physical edition just because it's my favorite game ever. I want the beautiful steel book and the prints.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
There's going to be a solid 2 months of XTalk where every what you playing is going to be like, yeah, I've been playing Tales of Symphonia again.
it's going to be a game that's just going to live on my hard drive. And when there's like a lull, I'm just going to pop in and like work my way through it.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's exciting. The only thing is it's 30 FPS. It isn't the GameCube version is the only one that runs at 60 FPS. Every other version runs at 30.
Does this game really need to be 60
No,
FPS
it
though,
doesn't.
Caleb?
I've played it on I've almost beat it on PC and it's
Yeah.
fine. I have a good experience. I literally don't care. I just want to play it. I just hope the achievement list isn't as hard as the PlayStation or the PC
No, it's gonna be
because
bonkers.
you
I
have
don't.
to, bro, you have to do like 4 playthroughs minimum. Like it's crazy
That's
the
light
amount of
work for
time.
you. That's light work for you.
No,
You're
well,
good.
I can get through it in like 16 hours. I think that was probably the
Mm,
quickest I did it. Yeah, super pumped.
yeah.
Last Nintendo Direct thing, the long rumored GoldenEye port
Oh,
is
yes.
official. You were there live reacting.
Oh,
Why don't you talk about this one?
so excited. This is, I remember when we talked about it on the Save the Game Boy podcast before this showcase, we were talking about our first ever Nintendo experiences. And this was mine on the Nintendo 64 was GoldenEye 007. I played the hell out of this game as a kid. It's been locked to the Nintendo 64 since its release because of so many different issues with copyright. You know, Sony owned some copyright to James Bond, Nintendo owned copyright, Rare owned copyright, who's a part of Xbox now. Like there was just so many conflicts. And so it's really, really awesome to see this get revived and that there was a deal worked out. Obviously, for the last like 3-4 years, we've been talking about rumors about a GoldenEye 007 remake, and we're finally going to see something like that, just kind of like a 4K upscale 60 FPS situation on the Xbox for Game Pass. I'm really excited. One thing I'm kind of sad about is that we're not getting online play for GoldenEye on the Xbox, which, to be fair, I'm going to be completely honest, I would have probably only played a few games and then never went back to it. I don't think anybody's going to be here
You and
grinding
everyone
like
else.
I don't think anybody's going to be here grinding hundreds of games like they do on Call of Duty, trying to unlock gun skins if they even implement anything like that, which I highly doubt they will. It'll probably just be the core experience of GoldenEye online play. But it'll be really interesting to go back to it and just see if it holds up. And I really do think it will because I've watched gameplay recently and it looks just as fun as it did back in 2001 when I was playing it as a little kid. So I'll be really, really happy when this comes out and I can throw it up on the big screen on my Series X and see it in its full glory.
You have more faith than I do. I don't think this game's going to hold up well. I really don't. Listen, you played this on the 3-pronged
The Bowser claw.
N64 control. Yeah. Your hand was all mangled trying to figure out how to play this game.
Weird
All right.
cramps happening all the time.
Yeah. It is weird that the Switch version, because their emulator lets them do online play through it's weird that one it has online play, but the
I'm wondering
Xbox
if
One,
that was part of the deal because obviously there had to be a lot of parties
yeah, because Nintendo
involved in
owns
this
part of
deal,
yeah.
right? And I'm sure Nintendo probably came to Xbox and said, "Hey, we'll let you publish this and put it on Game Pass, but we want exclusive rights to online play." I feel like that's a deal that they could have made, but you know, it is
I
what it
don't
is.
think it's that big of a deal. Like I said, like you were saying, no one's gonna be playing this for dozens of hours. This
You're
is
gonna go
really
into it for a quick hit of nostalgia, be like,
exactly.
"Damn, this is cool," and then you're gonna go back to playing your other online game that you've been playing the last year.
It's very cool that it finally is official and exists, but let's not act like we're all like, this is the game I need in
I will
2022.
say though, I probably will be playing through the entire campaign. Like
How
I
long is
have
it?
no doubt. There's a decent amount of levels, and again, I'm going off of memory as a little kid brain. I haven't seen the mission select on any videos. I remember it being fairly lengthy, like a ton of
Nine and a
missions.
half hours, according to how long to
Yeah, they're
beat.
not long missions for sure, but I feel like there was
Wow.
a lot of squares. I remember as a kid. I remember seeing a lot of squares on my tube TV for
Mm.
mission select.
Okay. All right. Well, exciting stuff. We can move over to the PlayStation State of Play, which opened with Tekken 8
Big opening, yeah.
coming to all platforms. So it will be on Xbox. Tekken, unlike Street Fighter, hasn't skipped Xbox. I thought this looked dope. This was the graphics in this, which were captured in a story mode. They said like this was in-game engine running, looked phenomenal.
Yeah, the fact that I'm hoping that there's a really big fleshed out story mode. That's something that interests me. I'm not much of a fighting game guy, but I am a sucker for a good story and some dramatic fight scenes. And yeah, like you said, the game looks absolutely stunning. There's a lot of particle effects. They seem to really enjoy that. But the environments look cool. The characters look badass. The move sets look fun. So I think this is going to be a really good day for fighters when this comes out. It'll be a fun time.
No date yet, but it's coming, just like Street Fighter 6. So we also are getting Like a Dragon Ishin, which, for those that don't know, was a previously Japanese only game. It's only come out in Japan. It's been remade from the ground up for this Western release. And also, Like a Dragon is the name of the Yakuza series in Japan, which
Mm-hmm.
they are now adopting for the West. They have dropped the Yakuza name. Going forward, the entries will be called Like a Dragon,
Mm.
which I'm fine with. I
Yeah,
don't when
pretty
I
cool.
when I talk about Yakuza Like a Dragon, I literally just say Like a Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be too jarring. But I'm really interested about this. It's a Yakuza or a Like a Dragon game set in feudal Japan. I feel like the combat is going to be different. We saw some gunplay, we saw some sword fights. I think the combat will be really varied and really interesting and a little bit different from what we're used to from the Yakuza series. And I'm really glad that they're bringing it over here. And I posted an article in Discord about why they're bringing it over here. And apparently, Sega and RRG kind of saw the success of Ghost of Tsushima, and they said, "Oh, we think this game will actually do really well over in the Western market." So that's why they're bringing it over. So really cool. Love to see it. I'm here for another Yakuza experience.
Listen, I've tried the older Yakuza games with Kiryu. I
Yep.
didn't like the way they felt, the combat. This looks fantastic though. Like I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna pick this up when it comes out and play it because it just looks so good, so much fun.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna go all in. Like a Dragon has got me. Which leads us to the RRG showcase because they've announced Like a Dragon 8,
Mhm.
which is the sequel to Yakuza Like a Dragon or Like a Dragon 7.
Yep.
And this one, bro, they only showed a little teaser,
Yeah.
but I am so hyped because it was just
Yeah.
Ichiban and Kiryu, who's now rocking some like K-pop
Hell
hairstyle,
yeah.
walking towards the screen. It circles around both of them and then it says 8. And this,
Oh.
they've come out and said that this game, they're both the protagonists. They're
Mhm.
both going to have their own separate parties. So I imagine it's going to be like a dual storyline situation where they're
Yeah.
each going to get party members. They are keeping the turn based, which is I was worried when I saw Kiryu that they were going to go away from that, especially because they had promised like Ichiban was going to remain turn based. I'm
Right.
glad they're keeping that. That is awesome, especially because they're bringing over like Ishin and have like Judgment is still a series or hopefully is still a series.
Yeah.
We had that little dispute
Obviously
with
a lot of
that, but like
issues. Yeah.
they're going to have different spin-off games where you have the action RPG combat and then
Yep.
they can have this one. My only worry is that Kiryu is going to overshadow Ichiban
Really.
because Ichiban is the new guy on the block. Like he's only
Right.
had one game. Everyone loves Kiryu. Like when he showed up in Like a Dragon, that was a pop off moment. Like even I was like, holy crap! Like I didn't even play the other games, and I'm pumped for this. This is so cool. It'll depend. I trust them to do a really good story, though. I'm down.
Yeah, I'm wondering too how the different receptions will be between the Western market and the Japanese market on this. Because Ichiban, I think, is more synonymous with Yakuza for the Western market because Like a Dragon really was the first game of the Yakuza series that kind of blew up in a way in the Western
Hmm.
market. I know the Yakuzas have been popular for a while, but I feel like a lot of people played Like a Dragon, and I've been hearing a lot more about Yakuza since Like a Dragon came out.
Hmm.
So I feel like a lot of like for me, when I think of Yakuza, I do think of Ichiban because I never grew up playing the older games on the PlayStation because, like I said, I really didn't have PlayStation growing up. So Ichiban definitely to me is synonymous with the Yakuza series, and I'm wondering if that's the case with a lot of people in the Western market. So I'm wondering if they're kind of combining them to get the best of both worlds from both markets.
Yeah, I know we have some Yakuza like Taylor. He's a Yakuza guy. Hopple's a Yakuza guy. Shout out Matt Sawinski from the PlayStation Drive,
Hmm.
homie over there. He loves the Yakuza games.
Oh
He
yeah.
big fan. So He's in Lord Cognito from Iron Lords, friend of the show. He like a dragon was what got him into it. Him and me talk.
Yeah, same.
We talk about it. It's really what pop like Yakuza's always been popular, but I'm with you. I think Like a Dragon was the catalyst that really set it off in the West here.
Yeah.
Game Pass helped
Oh
certainly,
yeah,
I
for
think,
sure.
because you had all of them. They're now on PlayStation Plus. Like Yakuza has never been in a better position.
Yeah, it'll be really fun to see so much more Yakuza stuff coming. I can't wait.
Well, it's good because we have one more announcement. Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Yep.
This is coming next year. Like a Dragon 8 is coming 2024, so still wait. But this game stars Kiryu and will take place after the events of Yakuza 6. So
Mhm.
this is kind of going to fill the gap between what happened with Kiryu after 6 and when he shows up in Like a Dragon, I believe, is what the premise of this is. The trailer was like 2 minutes long, but it didn't really
Mhm.
like. I think I would have had to play the other games to get like what they were talking about because it was kind of just like monologue. But if it looks good once I see some gameplay, yeah, sure. Like I'll
Yeah,
dive in.
I'm excited about this game because I honestly don't feel like I'm gonna go back and play all the old
That's where
Yakuzas
I'm
ever,
at.
and this will allow me to kind of get some connective tissue between the character of Kiryu moving into the modern Yakuza series with Ichiban. So it'll be nice, and maybe it'll attach me to that character a little more than what I am right now. So I'm really excited for this, that I get to take a step back in this series while also playing a new game. So that'll be great.
Yeah, for sure. And they're killing it right now. I
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
going
know what else to
crazy.
say.
They got a
Uh,
formula and it works, and they're going hard on it. I love it.
For sure. So we can go to our last showcase that we're going to talk about, and it's the one you and me live reacted
Oh
to
yeah.
just this morning, 5 a.m. Eastern time,
Woo.
4 a.m. for you, 4 a.m.
4 a.m. for me, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We're very tired. All right, we're making it through though, and that was the Tokyo Game Show showcase from
Mhm.
Xbox. And right off the bat, gotta say, I think it was a good showcase. It was
It was
really
so
above my
fun.
expectations.
Yeah.
I think you said it this morning. I was like, oh, there's like 15 minutes left, and you're like, it's been 35 a minute. Like it flew
Yeah.
by,
It flew
flew
by. There's
by.
a lot of great announcements here. Do you want me to go down and from start to finish all the announcements?
Go for it. Let's recap it, and you can get our live reactions. They're available on the
Yeah.
channel right now. If you've missed those, we're gonna discuss more in detail because we didn't really go into depth
Yeah.
on the
We
live
were
reaction.
we were chugging coffee at that time, or Kevin was
So
chugging water. I was
if you
chugging
if you
coffee.
want to listen, if you want to pause, go watch that, come back. Completely understand for the not if you're watching live. All right, stay with us. Then you
Yeah,
can go
stay with
watch
us.
that.
Come on.
But if you're watching after the fact on Friday, pause it, go watch the reaction, then come back and get our in-depth thoughts.
Yep. So immediately showcase opens up with Persona 5, big sizzle reel, big hype moment for Persona 5. An enhanced re-release. I'm reading from the article by Windows Central, by the way. Jennifer Young did this article just to give credit. Enhanced re-release of Persona 5 coming to Xbox Game Pass on October 21st. This was announced in June this year as part of the 25-year anniversary of Persona, and it's an addition to the Game Pass lineup that cements blah blah blah. PR talk. Persona 5 will come with all the DLC packs and will be available on Xbox consoles and Windows PC. And then also they kind of highlighted at the end Persona 3 and 4. So Kevin, know you're a big Persona fan. I'm really excited to sink my teeth into this. What do you think? How do you think this decision was to show off Persona right at the start of this? Do you think this was a good way to start the showcase?
I think it's a fine way to start the showcase, especially you want to appeal to the Japanese audience, and
Yep.
this gets you right off the bat, lets you reaffirm like a previous announcement, remind them that it's coming. Hey, next month you're gonna be able to
Oh
play
yeah.
Persona 5
Get your
Royal
Series S.
on Xbox. Mostly Martinez in the chat says never played Persona 5. Well,
Me neither.
now it's your chance. Game Pass, Persona 5 Royal, the best. This is going to be the best version. 4K, 60 frame per second. It's
Oh,
got all the DLC. You're going to have a great experience. I have the platinum for Royal on PlayStation, 87 hours. It's a long game. Don't get me wrong. You're going and I beat games quick. So most people you're going to be 100 hours plus for Persona 5 Royal. There is certain criteria you have to follow to get the additional semester. So
Mm,
make sure you look up the non-spoilery, like, how do I get it before you go to
okay.
Persona 5 Royal. Otherwise, you're gonna miss what actually
Gonna
makes
have to
Persona 5
replay.
Royal. Yeah, but no, great start, loving it. Can't wait for. I want 3 and 4 release dates because that's what I'm waiting for. Like
Yeah.
I want to play 3 especially.
Yeah, really exciting. But moving forward, we had the next game, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. We saw a bit of gameplay from that. From the producers behind Neo and Bloodborne comes the action RPG Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which was announced for Game Pass. No release date was confirmed, but it will be day one title, likely to arrive in 2023. The developers showcased the title with new gameplay trailer, which you can watch, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we saw some new gameplay of that. Looks really cool, sort of a Souls-like game with the fast-paced team ninja combat. Something I'm really excited for. It looks absolutely stunning. It looks like nothing of what I was envisioning this game was going to be back when it was first kind of leaked or announced or however this got released. But really excited. How did you like the gameplay of this?
So I'm not a Souls guy, as everyone knows,
Right.
but this trailer, it showed well. I didn't look as slow and clunky as I think most Souls games do, and don't come for me, Souls fans. I know games
Don't add
probably
them, folks.
don't feel that way. I'm just saying how they look to me.
Yeah.
I like Ninja Gaiden a lot. If this is more of it's obviously nowhere near as fast paced as Ninja Gaiden, but
Right.
if it's a faster type of combat, if it's not as punishing, like, it needs to be accessible for me. It needs to be
Mhm.
not as brutally hard as some of their other games. So
Yeah.
I'm cautious about it. I think it showed well, but it is Game Pass, so I don't lose anything if I don't like it.
Exactly. Moving forward, Exoprimal had another showing that came out of the bag of tricks from Xbox. Also coming to Xbox consoles is the ambitious release window of 2023 is Exoprimal, a Capcom multiplayer action game with a 5v5 PvP and PvE missions where players must fight off hordes of prehistoric monstrosities. The gameplay seems to revolve around upgrading exosuit armor and completing challenges set by a sinister artificial intelligence by the name of Leviathan. I think this showing was a lot better than the original one. I remember
Mhm.
we were laughing at it, like
The
aggressively
little
laughing.
PNG little
PNG
dinosaurs as
little
they fell off the
dinosaurs.
bridge.
And it was still sort of funny when you saw like the hordes of velociraptors, but I think they kind of toned that down a bit and they showed off some of the bigger enemies. We saw like a T-Rex covered in this like I don't know, purple slime. We saw a bunch of different crazy dinosaurs. The action looked fast paced. It looked like there was a lot going on the screen.
Mhm.
Maybe a little too cluttered, but I do think this was a much better showing by Exoprimal than previously. So, Kevin, what did you think of Exoprimal?
Better showing,
Yeah,
still not enough for me to buy the game.
right. I think I'm that way too.
If it comes to some subscription service, maybe I would try it. But it does, like, the whole PvP and PvE, like, that kind of puts me off. If it was just a PvE game, I would probably be more into it. I don't know, man. It looks so weird, and the voice acting was atrocious in
It was
this
funny.
trailer.
I think you mentioned like I hope that they do a Japanese voice acting so we can just sub it because this looks bad.
It was the accents were all over the place.
It was wild.
None of it sounded
None of
good.
the dialogue fit the situation that they were in. There were hordes of monsters all around them. We need to defeat these people. It's like,
It was
what?
terrible.
Oh, good stuff. But moving on, this is definitely a game that you looked excited about when we live reacted. It's going to be Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition. It's a cross universe fighting game featuring characters from Persona, Under Night in Birth, and okay, I don't want to be added here. Do you say this as or RWBY or Ruby?
I think it's Ruby.
Ruby, okay. And the Ruby web series, to mention a few. The game was released in 2018 on PlayStation, Switch, and PC, but will be coming to Xbox Game Pass in spring of 2023. Really cool little fighting game. Lots of different characters from different series. You seemed interested in it during the live react. What do you think about this?
Ghostly March in the chat does confirm it's pronounced Ruby.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, this game looked awesome. I'm
Yeah,
2023 is the year of fighting games on Xbox, on
it's a
every.
lot. Yeah,
Let's go. We're getting what Tekken 8, I think, is next year. Street Fighter 6. We're
yep.
getting Blaze Blue on Game Pass, and then the next game we're going to talk about. 2023 is looking great for fighting game
Uh-huh.
fans, which I've gotten back into the genre, mainly anime fighters like Arc System Works does produce. I played Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. They've kind of taken some of the characters from that game, put them in this game, added a bunch of other ones. Like Under Night in Birth is a series I've always been interested in. So now I get to play with some of those characters. I'm super interested in this. The tag team mechanic looks really cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait. This is for me. This is a game for me. Day one.
Yeah. Like you were saying, 2023 year of fighters, a lot of stuff coming to Game Pass. Hopefully, maybe this is the next year's the year I get into fighting games. Who knows? If it's on Game Pass, I'm gonna try it. And if
Do
I got
it.
people playing, I'm gonna play multiplayer with y'all. It'll be a good time. But on the trend of fighting games, the next one, very big moment during the showcase. Guilty Gear Strive is coming to Xbox. Another 2D anime fighter game coming from Arc System Works. Guilty Gear Strive will also be arriving on Game Pass in spring of 2023. Guilty Gear Strive won the best fighting game at the Game Awards in 2021 and is a fantastic entry drug into the Guilty Gear roster of titles. So, Kevin, tell me about your history with Guilty Gear. What do you think about this?
I own Guilty Gear on PS5. I almost have the platinum. All right.
Ooh,
There's one trophy in particular that is incredibly difficult. Like
fighting games aren't easy to 100%.
I'm only missing, I think, 4 trophies.
Mhm.
3 of them are just like play more, and then
Yeah.
the one is like beat the final arcade mode boss, but he's like the hardest thing. Like it's ridiculous. Like people literally cheese him by pressing the start button so they can like time guards and attack.
Oh,
Like
then you got to cheese it, Kevin.
I
Cheese him.
tried, I suck, I can't do it. So I'm like, I don't know how to beat this guy. He's too good, and he'll like two shot you. So, no, this game is phenomenal. This is one of the
Mhm.
games that like got me back into fighting games because I kept seeing everyone playing it.
Yeah.
Leffen, who's a pro Smash player, he was playing it a lot, and I would watch him
Big
and be like,
tourney scene, big professional
yes,
scene.
yes. Guilty Gear Strive is huge. It's had a lot of support, a lot of DLC characters.
Yep.
Um, the soundtrack to this game is amazing. The
Yeah.
mechanics. This has the best tutorial mode of any fighting game. It
Really?
it will teach you everything you need to know in the best way possible. This is the best tutorial
That
in the world.
excites me.
Like you cannot
Okay.
walk away from the tutorial because it goes over literally every single mechanic. Applying those mechanics, you're gonna have to learn, but it tries. It tries to
Yeah.
teach you like what
Okay.
situations to use what. Really awesome. I'm a Giovanna main. I think I'm on floor 7 or 8 out of there's 10 and Celestial. So I'm mid, I would say. I'm mid at the game, all right? But like I'm not awful. It's a
Yeah.
good game.
Yeah. Moving forward, though, we got Naraka Blade Point, Yushan Ruins, and Chapter 2 campaign mode. Naraka Blade Point arrived exclusively on Xbox as a console launch exclusive in June of 2022 with a campaign mode showdown released in August of 2022. We got a trailer for Chapter 2 coming in October, a new map. Naraka Blade Point, really fun little battle royale. It's on Game Pass. I would recommend people go give it a shot if you're into battle royales. Um, there's not really too much to say about this, just a content update for an ongoing live service game that's actually pretty fun. So everyone go give it a shot. Anything to say about it?
Nothing for me here.
Nothing.
Nah.
All right. The next one is kind of the unknown for me. And I'm probably going to be playing this because they released it right away during the showcase. It's Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch remastered. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch will release on Xbox for the first time and all of its remastered glory. Xbox dropped the game into Game Pass today to celebrate the launch of the Tokyo Game Show. Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom will launch on Xbox Game Pass in 2023. Gameplay looked pretty cool. Looked like a really fun little game. Nothing I'm like super excited for, but it did get released on Game Pass today. It looks like something I'd want to check out. Kevin, do you have any interest in this?
Not for me. This is a Studio Ghibli title.
Yes,
Yeah. So they did the animation for this. I
it
know
looks
my
beautiful.
I know my brother and my friend already started playing it, so they're in on it. It doesn't look like it's something I would enjoy. Like
Okay.
the animation doesn't appeal to me. Like I don't. It's not. I've never been a Studio Ghibli guy. I get it,
Right.
but I've only heard good things. I know plenty of people in the community love this game.
Yeah, mostly Martinez said I know a couple of who have played it and loved it.
Yep.
So that gets me more excited to hear people are liking it because it's an unknown factor to me. I love Studio Ghibli. I love their movies, love anime. So it'll be fun to jump into a video game with that sort of style. But moving on, we got Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. This continues the trend of Xbox bringing in Danganronpa games to Game Pass. Another surprise drop on Game Pass today was Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. The Anniversary Edition has arrived on Game Pass and is a popular dialogue-heavy visual adventure game that can also be played with Xbox Cloud touch controls. So cool. I played the other Danganronpas that they put on Game Pass. I never really finished one. I've just played through probably like halfway and dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long visual novel. I will say
Yes,
I can
very
play
long.
I can play visual novels, but it loses steam for me after so many
Mm-hmm.
hours. So this is probably going to be another case of me jumping in and trying it. Hopefully the story hooks me enough to be able to finish it. But are you excited at all about the new Danganronpa coming?
No, I experienced I experienced all I need of Danganronpa. I get why people like it. It's just not for me. The visual novels aren't for me.
Yeah,
If you could cut down the in between time between the trials, then I would
right.
play it.
That's
But
the thing.
it takes hours to get to a trial, and then the trial is like an hour. So it really is long. It gets tedious.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monokuma wants blood. That's all I gotta say.
Mm. Next up, I don't think either of us have anything to say. Overwatch 2, new hero Kiriko. Character model looked cool. Apparently, the character is a healing support character. You can teleport directly to allies in need. You can get rid of negative buffs on your teammates. Not much to say. I don't play Overwatch, so
Me either. Look dope. I'm sure Overwatch fans are
yeah,
excited.
yeah, good for y'all. Next up, Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. This is the second Ayuden Chronicle game after Rising that we saw. What showcase did we see the Ayuden Chronicle games from? It
They
was
were originally announced at the Xbox showcase last year,
Yeah, I
I
think it was
believe.
a while ago. I
Yeah,
loved Rising, but I
same.
know that's not the same type of game here. From what I heard, I think I remember when I was playing Rising, like, oh, I love this gameplay. It's really fun, fast paced. And people told me this is not a normal Ayuden Chronicle.
Mm,
They are traditionally turn based. And so this is a return to form on the turn based. Let me read this. The Epic JRPG Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes will also be arriving to Xbox Game Pass in 2023. The game started as a Kickstarter, which I still think is wild in 2020 and today showed a brand new gameplay trailer at the Xbox showcase. The game promises to be a love story of the 90s JRPGs and will have over 100 playable characters, Kevin. All
yeah.
right. What do you think about this? 100 playable characters. Do you think that's too much? I've heard a lot of people say that's too much.
Yeah, it could be too much. I'm really hoping that they go the route where you can't get all 100 at once. Like encourage multiple
Right.
playthroughs, choose your favorites, choose the storylines, branch. It's way too many to manage for one playthrough. There's no doubt. Like you, I really enjoyed Rising. I thought it was better than I expected. It was like kind
Yeah.
of a little town management action RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Has a Metrovania elements too. So those three characters that you got in there will be in it. Really like that. They're coming back. I love the look of this game. It's absolutely gorgeous, that pixel art that they got going on.
Yeah.
I will say that Iden Chronicle is a new IP, but it is the spiritual successor to Suikoden, which,
Mm.
if you are a old school JRPG fan, those are much beloved. There's a rumor that Konami's doing something with the IP, but it's crazy to me. It's been 2 years and this game already looks like this was a Kickstarter project from
Yeah.
2 years ago, and it looks this fantastic. So I'm excited. Can't wait. Should be coming out next year.
Yeah, on the point you said about old JRPGs, it says right here, love story to 90s JRPGs. So, they're upfront about it, which is it's really cool.
Ghostly March says, gonna need that XP share.
Let's see here. What's next? Next, you're probably not going to say nothing about this, and I probably won't either. Dyson Sphere program. It's a space sim
Space.
management thing. I mean, I these type of games I don't play, but I'm interested to see what other people can do with them because it looks like there's so many different things that you could do with this type of a game. Setting up factories around a planet and everything. Shout out to Dyson Spheres. If you're an astronomy nerd like me, shout out to Sean Capri. You guys know what I'm talking about. But be interested to see what people do with it. I'm sure you don't got nothing to say on this.
No.
Next up, Forza Horizon 10-year anniversary. They will be celebrating their 10-year anniversary in October, and a new trailer was released at the show today displaying the festival locations over the years: Britain, Italy, France, Australia, Colorado, and Mexico. The anniversary update for Forza Horizon 5 will drop on October 11th with a new story, fan favorite soundtracks, and a midnight battles mode. More info to be released soon. So I didn't, at the time, I don't think we really knew that it was a content update thing. We thought it was just, a hype moment for Forza Horizon. And I think Hopple came in and talked to us about, hey, there's some new content dropping. I'm like, oh, pretty cool. So nice little showing by Forza here.
I got to point out, Ghostly March, those are the guys who make the vacuums, right?
Yes, you got that right.
That was hilarious. Oh, it got me good.
You got anything on Forza?
No, cool. More
Cool.
cars.
Yeah,
cool.
This next one. This was the dark horse. This was the one that I had no idea about going in, and now I'm kind of excited for it. It's Pal World. And the opening tagline: have you ever wanted Pokemon but with guns and grenades? Why, yes. Yes, I have. Pal World is here and is the answer to those prayers. Pal World is a multiplayer open world survival and crafting game where you collect Pokemon, pals, who will fight, farm, and build for you. Pal World has already been touted for Steam, but today was announced as coming to Xbox consoles in 2023. Really, really interested in this. This really piqued my interest. I remember when it first started, I just kind of dismissed it initially as, oh, a Pokemon clone. I really don't care, whatever. But the more the gameplay was shown and the more how absurd the gameplay played out in front of us, I was like, okay, there's something different about this one. This looks really cool, and it looks really beautiful. It looks like a really well-made game. So I can't wait to see more about this. If it's on Game Pass, I'm there day one. I might even buy this game if I keep seeing stuff I like this. The only thing that worries me is that they specified that it's a multiplayer open world survival and crafting game. I don't like that tagline. That's not something that really makes me happy. I'm so tired of survival and crafting games. I really am. But if that's not really a focus of this game and there's more to it than just that, then I'm going to get really excited. So I'd like to see more of how the mechanics are going to play out and how it's going to interact with the world. So tentatively excited here.
You know who loves open world multiplayer survival crafting games?
Who's that?
Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett. Garrett's on this day one. And
I don't know how he feels about Pokemon. Those things I don't like, but this game looks so cool. Like I just want to battle. I just want to fight with my pals because you had the Lapras looking with the rocket launchers on the shoulders, firing at hordes of other. I'm like,
the thumbnail is literally like a Pichu with a submachine gun.
I thought this was. I remember because we were like, I was like, is this Temtem? Because if this is Temtem, I don't know what Temtem. This is not what I thought it was. This game went off the rails, like Pokemon with machine guns, and I need to see more of this game. This game is definitely one that like excited me. It's a good get for Xbox because Temtem did come to Xbox, but they don't really have like a Pokemon game. So like the more the merrier, right? Like and listen, this looks better than any Pokemon game that like graphic wise. All right. Like go play Legends Arceus, then come watch this and be like, Arceus was made on the N64.
Yeah. Pretty excited. But moving on, we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey dropped on Xbox Game Pass today. They showed that off. It is now free for all Game Pass subscribers. It also is enhanced with 60 FPS support on Xbox Series X. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, one of the greatest games I've played in the last few years. I know we talked about earlier how I wanted to see Assassin's Creed move away from that 150-hour RPG experience, but this game, damn, it worked. And I had an absolute blast with it. Probably the best out of the three. Well, ask me on a different day and I'll say Origins, but this is an absolutely incredible game. Ancient Greece is probably the best setting for an Assassin's Creed game. It's so beautiful. It's so vibrant and colorful. The landscape is so varied. So if you haven't played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I really recommend to go try it out because it will hook you. It is such a good game, such a good story, great characters. Kevin, I know you are not going to do that. What do you think about this?
No, I've had access to this game for years. I haven't
Yeah.
played it. I'm not going to play it, but I'm happy for Assassin's Creed fans.
Yeah, go check out. I'm not going to play it again because I've already I've done everything in Odyssey. There's nothing else for me. But moving on, this one I really don't know anything
I
about.
have no idea what this is. I forgot this was even there.
Yeah, and I don't think that it was a teaser trailer, so there really wasn't much there. It's Fuga Melodies of Steel, a charming and somewhat bleak turn-based RPG with narrative adventure elements from CyberConnect 2, and is now also available for download today on Xbox Game Pass. So this was another one of their shadow drops of the day of the announcement. It got a brand new trailer for Fuga Melodies of Steel 2, which comes in 2023. Know nothing about this game. Bleak turn-based RPG doesn't sound like something I want to sink my teeth into.
I just scrolled through the trailer and I don't even remember this game. I don't even know what this is. Never seen this before in my life.
It could be very cool. So if you're a fan of the Fuga series, congratulations. You got some news. Very cool.
And I know I saw it this morning, by the way, but I don't remember seeing it. That's all right. Not an endorsement for me.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Deathloop. Finishing off the show, Xbox announced a release date for the much anticipated drop of Deathloop, which comes to Game Pass on September 20th. Even better, it can be pre-installed today. The game was originally a Sony PlayStation console exclusive. However, September marks the end of that one-year deal. Advertisements started popping up earlier this week. We talked about that a little bit. So while this wasn't a surprise announcement, Xbox fans will be happy to have an official date. On release, Deathloop will receive the free Golden Loop updates, which comes with a new weapon, enemies, upgrades, and extended ending and cross-platform matchmaking. So cross-platform matchmaking, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like to hear
cool.
that.
So Deathloop wasn't one. First of all, it was marketed to death. I was so sick of seeing Deathloop at State of Plays. Like, oh my god, I was.
Like,
so
we get it. It's coming to PlayStation.
It came out to glowing reviews, Game of the Year nominations, 10s out of 10s from IGN. I know people that are Arcane fans that look at it and think that, like, okay, this looks like Arcane's worst game. I've heard some people say it is Arcane's worst game, but it appealed to the mainstream audience and the mainstream critics for sure. I'm going to try it. I've already pre-installed it. It's 36 gigabytes, by the way. So
not a lot.
Not a lot, not a small game, but not an overly large game. I'm going to try it on Xbox. I was waiting for it to come to Xbox, even though I have PlayStation Plus and it's coming the same day to PlayStation Plus. Like, I just prefer, I don't know. I just prefer games on X. Like, if there's a choice, I'm going to play it on Xbox. Sean Caprice here to cause mayhem and like the stream. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. We talked about Dyson spheres earlier, and you weren't here.
We did talk about Dyson sphere. Yeah, well, not really. I mean, he talked about Dyson sphere.
I
don't even know what that is. Yeah. No, I'm excited that Deathloop is finally coming to Xbox. I think that is the overall takeaway. Like, once the ads started popping up, I was pretty certain this is where it was going to be revealed. It was revealed, and the big takeaway, I think, is now we know for a fact, come March, Ghostwire Tokyo is going to launch into Game Pass. It is going to drop on Xbox, even if they can't say it until the day before or a few days before. It's all but guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Deathloop. I've been waiting patiently for this to come to Xbox for the entire year. I've been wanting to play it. I'm wondering how much traffic it's going to get because we're kind of out of that stage of time loop games being the new hotness. I feel like that went really hard during like the core pandemic years of, time loop games were everything. Outer Wilds blew up. This game blew up. 12 Minutes was another time loop game that was heavily marketed that I enjoyed. But it'll be nice to jump back into that little trend, get my last little fix before it seems like people aren't really making time loop games anymore. But obviously all the accolades that have come to this game, all the 10 out of 10 reviews, everyone calling it a masterpiece, it's got to be on your radar, right? It's something you got to try out, see what all the hype is about. It's on Game Pass. Absolutely no reason not to try it. And it's an FPS. I'm a fan of FPS games, especially ones that look as fast paced as this, where you can use different abilities and like I don't know if is it magic or is it technology that they use. There's a lot of like throwing people around and doing crazy stuff, but really excited to jump into this and see what all the hubbub is about.
Yeah, I think the abilities look cool. That
Yeah.
was one of the things I said this morning when he was lifting people in the air.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, it
And I
looks
said it
really
looks
cool.
cool, but I'll never probably do it. I'm gonna be aggressively going in with the heaviest gun I can and
I
just blasting people away. But you know,
I do have concerns. Like the art style still doesn't really appeal to me. I'm concerned. I know people say it's not a roguelike type game, but it does have
right?
that loop element. I hope
Yeah,
I don't get like annoyed doing if I have to do the same stuff over and over again. Like they need to make that loop rewarding for me. And
exactly.
that is a concern. But like you said, the amount of glowing reviews this game got, like how can I not try it? It would be a disservice to like potentially miss out on a 10 out of 10 game just because I don't like the art style. But like art style is one thing, you can get over it if the gameplay is really good. I truly believe gameplay probably is the most important thing when it comes to games. So
Yeah.
um I'm in. I'm gonna try it next. Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna try it next week. Comes out the 20th. That's a Tuesday.
I'll
Um
probably try it next week.
well, listen, yeah, okay. Listen, well, Diofield Chronicles comes out next week. All right, you
Oh
know,
my
I gotta,
goodness.
Square. No, it'll be like I still have to play Metal Hellsinger. Oh man,
Yeah, we got a lot of games to play
I need
this
lots of
week.
yeah. I
This
need more
weekend's gonna
time.
be packed. I need a clean slate on the weekend. I'm not doing nothing. I got to play a bunch of games.
Yeah, I need
But
more
that
time.
was the last game of the showcase. Overall, I think this was an incredible showcase by Xbox. I had a blast watching it, even though it was really early in the morning for me. I think they
Hmm.
really did a good job of showcasing a lot of great Japanese IP, and I think they did what their mission was, and that's taking another step forward in the Japanese market. I think if I was a consumer there, I'd be really thinking about buying an Xbox Series S right now to have in the corner of my room and have that Game Pass subscription because I got all my favorite games coming. And obviously, I think what's cool too is that this was prime time for Japan. This live
Hmm.
stream was mostly for the Japanese market, and even me and you as Western players, we got a lot out of this showcase. We got a lot of great things that we saw that we were really excited for. So Xbox, you're killing it.
Yeah, well, I'm a weeb.
Me too.
For
Yeah.
the yeah, so like obviously I always prefer Japanese style games. Like they appeal to me a lot.
Yeah.
So I was always gonna get something out of this. I do think that they exceeded expectations for what I had for the Tokyo Game Show. They addressed things that they needed to. They brought series previously not on Xbox over to Xbox, which is what I
Right.
said that they were going to do. I thought there'd be the Mana games and the Trails games and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but Nino Kuni's a big get. Guilty Gear and the Arc System
Guilty Gear.
fighting game,
Yeah.
like that addresses a specific need in the ecosystem, which I've said for a long time. Xbox doesn't have fighting games. They just
Hmm.
don't, and the few they do have, people play them elsewhere. So bringing those over, especially Guilty Gear, which is getting support, it's getting crossplay. The beta is right now. They're doing the
Hmm.
crossplay beta. If you can give me cross progression on top of that, like telling me I can play on my PlayStation, like bring my progress over, you're golden. That's amazing. Like there's so much potential to build the fighting game community up with these Japanese style games and kill
Hmm.
two birds with one stone. Really, the Japanese
Exactly.
market and you were saying, they pushed in to the Japanese market more. Phil Spencer came out, I think, during the showcase and said that half of the new Xbox or half of the Xbox users in Asian markets are new to the Xbox ecosystem. They're
That's
brand new
crazy.
users. So
That's
like
really crazy.
we know the Series S is selling well. It's Xbox is
Hmm.
doing great in Japan. And yes, I understand great for them in Japan isn't a super high bar compared to
Yeah,
everyone else.
exactly.
But if we can't celebrate little successes, then what are we even do? Like, what's the point? What is the point?
Yeah.
We're just trying to have fun with video games at the
We're
end of the
building the
day.
community.
Hmm.
We're building the community. That's a good thing.
Yep, for sure. So, I think it was great. I had a
Yep.
good time today, live reacting at 5 a.m.
Go check out that live react, folks. We got up
For
early
sure.
for that, and it was actually a really good time. We had a great
Yeah,
time,
yeah, we did. That we had 10 people in the chat hanging with us. So
which is wild. I didn't
uh,
know that.
I was like, why are you people awake? But yeah, shout out to the people that came by and hung out with us really early
Yep.
in the morning. But that is where we're going to end today's episode. Ethan, good show.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.
Blast.
Lots of showcases. Hopefully we're gonna cool down on that a little, but Who
We
knows?
can catch up on a little bit of sleep.
Yeah. Who knows? We could get more showcases next week. E3 in September could continue. But until then, where can people find you?
You can find me at WhiteCedar1 on Twitter and PSN and Gravy3448 on Xbox.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon. It's a 1 instead of an I, an O instead of an A. Follow us at Save Game Media to stay up to date with all of our latest. Until next week, we'll see you. Goodbye.
Peace.